in this issue, we will combine two positions before the combine. Guard and center will take front and center. What's up, it's your boy Cintron. Come back to another analysis video. And I kid you not, that's my real name. And man, we looked at the exterior, the tackles last video, before the video before that. But today we're looking at guard and center, a combo position, because these guys can kind of be interchangeable and be flexible to cover and be interchangeable pieces, as we will see a little bit later. But first, let's get to our first guy, which we'll start with, could have guessed it, none other than Jason Kelce, the 6th round draft pick out of Cincinnati. He's been a stalwart for us since he hit the league. Got better, every year in his early years, and just hit a plateau where he just was playing lights out at a Pro Bowl / All Pro level. And he's hit that 5 times in his career, and I believe he's a solid lock for it, to be a future Hall of Famer for us at the center position, and just everything you want. I mean, and then some, because he has rare athleticism. He gets out in front on those screens, draws, pulls, and just is able to knock guys off, like help out, chip, with other linemen, knock them out, sometimes push them out of the club, as we saw the Giants in the playoffs, and, like toss them, hip toss the guys. I mean, just with one arm, just what else do you want from a center? Yes, Creed Humphrey is a very good one, and his team came out, prevailed in the Super Bowl, and who knows, maybe he had a cleaner game or whatever. I still take Jason 10 times out of 10, given the same, same choice. So I ride or die with him. I'm glad he came back for a keg of beer. Well, inspired by a keg of beer from Nick Sirianni in the offseason last year. And our line was, what do you call it, no worse for the wear with him there. So, I mean, we drafted his replacement. He handpicked him. We'll get to him a little bit later. But if he decides to come back this year, we're in good hands once again. But I believe that will be, it'll be his final go at it. I don't think the Super Bowl had. I mean, it might have had, have had something to do with his decision-making process, but he can't go out like this on a bad note. I just personally believe, and I believe he comes back for one more go around before he hangs up the hat. Just having had his 3rd daughter born, lucky guy, 3 daughters is my dream right there. But we're getting off track. Congratulations to him and his wife. But man, we just want to see the other Kelce brother rock out for another calendar year. But it's easy. Stay or go. If he decides to stay, best decision, one of the best decisions that will happen for us in the 2023 season. And we're still a long ways from having a kickoff. But, I'd love to hear that. Next, Landon Dickerson, our Pro Bowl left guard, man. He's grown. He was a steal for us in the 2nd round, coming out of Alabama, because, he was had an injury report, and didn't medically check out, at the combine and such. But huge guy. He's like 6'7" or something like that, 6'5" at least. I mean, just such a beast there. Struggled in and out of the lineup at times, injuries, but he just soldiered on. It just gave us very solid blocking, and played it in combination with with Mailata over there in left tackle, and with in between Mailata and Kelce at center, and just was amazing. Had his lapses, his mistakes at times, but only a 2nd year pro, so he's gonna only continue to get better. He had some some penalties, 7 holding, 4 false starts, 3 ineligible man downfield penalties, but all in all, it's a successful season. His first Pro Bowl. And he hasn't plateaued yet, so the best is still yet to come. Obviously, he's still on a rookie contract. Boon for us, man. When we have to pay some of these guys, we're gonna be hurting, because we can't keep everybody. But for the interim, I'm glad. So glad to have him. Can't name 5 guys better than him in the league. All right, next, Isaac Seumalo. This is gonna be a tough one, because he's gonna most likely walk. He's priced himself out of Philadelphia with the way he played this past season, and he's progressively gotten better. He for the I think Super Bowl, I think he was a rookie with us. He was starting on and off. He switched with he was struggling. We were struggling between him and Steven Wisniewski, and Steven Wisniewski was an above average starter Not great, but good, and very very good in some spots. But he's ascended since that season, and also in past seasons as well. He struggled with Chris Jones and let off let him get a number of sacks on him. I think like three or something like that. But he's progressively gotten better, and he's continued to evolve and get not get stronger necessarily, but have play with better technique. And that Lioness is a unit just beastly, So the way they played in unison, we'd love to have him back, but like I said, his market is gonna just be too great. The demand and demand in teams as well as the number of teams throwing offers at him, and just we're not gonna be able to re-sign him if we want to bring back some other people. So like our D tackle Hargrave, what's that? Jonathan Hargrave, Hargrave, and CJ Gardner-Johnson. We're not gonna be able to bring those two back if we keep Seumalo. So he'll most likely get paid in the offseason, just won't be here in Philly. Sad to say, but who knows? Maybe those two guys go and then we keep him, whatever. But I wouldn't be opposed if we let other guys go and the cookie just crumbled that way and we decide to keep him. But it's just a dream scenario at this point. So Sterigo, he walks just because he deserves to get paid. He's 29 years old. This might be one of his last big contracts, and then he'll maybe play for a ring or whatever. But yeah, it is what it is. Moving on to Cam Jurgens, our second round pick, number 51 this past season. Personally handpicked himself by Jason Kelsey. He's we think so highly of him and his evaluative skills. Maybe career in the future, but that's off into the distance. Can't think of that right now. But he picked him himself. He said, "Man, this guy reminds me of me." And actually, he's bigger, stronger, and man, it's crazy. Like he moves just like him. Though you saw him in the preseason, you're like 62, because he looked like him verbatim, and I can't wait to see his potential with Isaac Seumalo potentially leaving. He could slot himself right in there. Like I love what they said. Like our 2022 draft class was kind of like a sleeper cell because they haven't been activated yet. They were just resting. Like learning, resting, chomping at the bit, growing, learning on the sidelines from these killer veterans, and they'll be ready to come on and not saying they play lights out from the beginning, but they've been seasoned to a certain extent. They won't be bland like some people say. But yeah, he could slot right there at right guard and play for a year and then slot over to center when most likely Jason Kelsey retires in the offseason, the 2023 offseason. So that would be the best case scenario for us, and obviously we just picked him, so he's an obvious stay. We don't know what we're getting, but I believe that he's a very good player. That actually has his own beef jerky line, beef Jergens. I actually want to try it, but yeah, that's the beautiful thing about center guard is it's not like diametrically opposed. Like you're playing on the interior, it's not like playing on the exterior. You have a different pass set or whatever. You're not going to be responsible for touching the ball and handling line calls and stuff like that, protections and such. But it'll be a good run up for him to towards playing center and just garnering some experience in this league. So obvious stay, but man, I love it. So that only leaves us, if Kelsey does leave, it only leaves us with one position to replace. If he stays, we can just slide him in there. We don't lose really anybody on that line, and even if he's just competent, that line will still be strong. So, all right, let's move to the backups. Sua Opeta didn't really get a chance to play. We re-signed him though in the offseason for $1.4 million, and he's first off the line. First off the bench for left guard and right guard, but he fell out of the chart, and he wasn't called upon this year really to replace. We actually had our left tackle Andre Dillard fill in for I was gonna get some some use out of him. He's a first round talent, and to have him come in and step in. So no use to Sua Opeta's a step below that a starting level lineman. So no need to have him play. Fortunately, he didn't have to play. He had good injury health, Um, we had good health this year, versus with injuries, and Josh Sills was indicted on some rape and kidnapping charges. So our depth behind the starters is looking really shaky, but we kept him, so he could be replaced, but he knows the system. He could probably give you some adequate spot time if called upon. So I call it a win for us. And that's it for the O line on the interior. But let's get into some issues around the league. Commanders are set to franchise Deron Payne, defensive lineman to tackle out of Alabama. That defensive line actually has two Alabama D linemen, interior linemen, and it's just talented there, but they haven't played up to their potential. But this guy's started really to turn it on, especially as a pass rusher last season, and just a beast. And they played us tough. That's one of the reasons that we lost to them. They just kept that O line on their toes, throughout the day. In that week 8 loss to Washington, and just stand up guy, very great talent, but they're not, Washington realized we're not gonna let him go because he holds very good value for us, and not gonna let him get away with for nothing. So good on them for doing that, and also waste that money. But Carson Wentz, on the other hand, has been released by the Washington Commanders, and after a one season trial rental, just didn't pan out. So another 1 year deal for him after he was dealt from Philadelphia to the Colts, and then from the Colts to the I won't say the Redskins, but the Commanders, and it saves them $26 million. So like, damn it, we should waste that money on Carson, so you don't have money to operate. But it was a smart move from them, getting nothing from them. The third string guy, the rookie Sam Howell, actually started in the season finale. Won it against Dallas, and they weren't trying to take that game. They were trying to win it, actually. And then his, Carson Wentz's backup, Tyler Heineke, showed you, that in, more than a handful of games that he was actually a better starter than Carson. And he doesn't have all the, supreme level of talent that he does, but that shows you a lot. This guy may be cooked. He might just be a permanent backup from here on out. I don't think he's going to give another shot as being a starter in the league, but hey, it is what it is. He wrote himself a ticket out of Philadelphia with his inability to adapt, evolve, and grow with this franchise and the players. And he always wanted command, control, and he just didn't impress. Didn't prove himself worthy of that. So found himself on the way out. Thank goodness, because we got Jalen. I was like, what the fuck are we doing with him in the second round pick? Turned out to be fortuitous, baby. So appreciate you, Carson, and what you did for us in that 2017 regular season to get us put us in position to get that first round bye, the first seed, and lay the foundation for us to play to be able to put ourselves in a position to get to the Super Bowl. Thank you. But yeah, it's a little sad to see you struggling, but it is what it is. And the last issue we're going to touch on today. Sean Desai has entered the second round of interviews for the open defensive coordinator job. But I think they really pretty much decided who they want between him and Denard Wilson, our current DB coach. And I don't know, man. I don't know who's gonna be, but if we end up signing this Sean Desai, sad to say it's gonna be more of the same from what we saw from Jonathan Gannon. It's actually interesting to look at, but in his one season as the Chicago Bears D coordinator, he actually blitzed less than Jonathan Gannon. When in article, it was stated that he made Jonathan Gannon look like Jim Johnson. I'm like, fudge crackers, man! Damn it! Like, why? This confounds me. Why are they hell-bent on hiring a coordinator who's not creative with blitzes and who's tentative to do that, to be aggressive, and doesn't play to the strength of our corners, like doesn't believe in man coverage? That just flummoxes me. I'm like, if you want to win the Super Bowl, if you want, if you want to compete with those offenses, they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. You got to be able to man up. You got to be able to get pressure on those guys. And you got to be able to do it from a multitude, a variety, and a multitude of angles and directions and stances, gaps. Like, if they can see you coming, or if you just, worse than that, you don't even attack, you just sit back on your heels, on your laurels, and rest, and just react. Not even read and react. You react while you read. Like, that's horrible. But I'm not even gonna be mad if they hire him, because you're literally getting what you paid for. You deserve what's coming if you go and make this stale, bland ass hire. And that's on you. Because you better damn sure outscore the opponent every fucking game you're in, especially against those AFC squads with those, uber talented, stellar quarterbacks. Not even gonna be mad. Why should I get mad when you could put yourself in position to hire somebody? You could have got Vance Joseph if you wanted him. Could have made the deal irresistible, either monetarily wise or like in fringe benefits. Or Rex Ryan. Yes, he may not potentially mesh with the GM and the head coach. Who gives a fuck? Let's go out there and win this shit. But hey, if you're complacent with mediocrity on the defensive side, as far as like who's calling the play calls, who's making the play calls, who am I to say shit? I'm just a fan. Anyways, we'll end on that note. If it's a sigh, I will ask why, but I won't cry. Y'all won't be able to say cry, Eagles cry with this shit. I'll be mad, but I ain't finna cry. Unless it's some, traumatic circumstances and all that stuff, like the Saints, like Hulk Hogan meme in the playoffs. They got fucking robbed on that shit. That's a great note to end somebody else, pointing the finger at somebody else. But anyways, let's get up out of here. You know what it is, or maybe you don't, because you're not even watching, though. Fly, Eagles, fly, and let's motherfucking go! Like, comment, share, and subscribe Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.